Hey kids, you're about to listen to a comedy podcast. That means that none of this is medical advice. If you need medical advice or medical care, please contact your doctor.
Welcome to the Jock podcast featuring Dr. London Smith. The only podcast where we turn the cameras off so that we can teach you American Sign Language. Introducing your host, Dr. London Smith.
Hello, and welcome to the Jock podcast, where we discuss fitness and health and how to incorporate our modern understanding of science and medicine into our daily lives, but without it being so boring. I'm your host, drlondonsmith.com. I'd like to begin by apologizing to our listeners. We received some feedback about the excessive amount of technical medical terms that I've been using, such as nasogastric suction and appreciate you, post-shiate you. So I'll try to temper my terminology to a simpler one in the future. Here to help with that is our producer, Cameron.
Dr. Lennon, I think you're going to like what I've got prepared for you.
Okay.
Now, Halloween's coming up, right?
Yeah.
It's right around the corner.
Yeah.
How many days? Can you do the math real quick?
I think it's like 10 days or something, or 29. It's October 23rd today
Okay.
when I checked my calendar. So it's
So
90 days.
10 days from now,
Okay.
the 33rd,
Right.
is Halloween.
Yes.
And Dr. London, I have made one of the craziest and scariest Halloween quizzes. Which monster are you? BuzzFeed style quiz.
Oh, okay. And just to make sure, you did fact check this one, because like some of your quizzes in the past, I felt like I looked them up later and I wasn't true at all.
What is fact checking? I'm going to a source that might as well just be, pulled from nowhere, pulled out of thin air. Oh, I just trust this source. Here's the facts for you, Dr. London. Take the damn quiz.
Okay. Yes. Okay. I'm ready. I think I'm ready.
All right, Dr. London, first question on our Halloween quiz. What monster are you? BuzzFeed style quiz. What is your scariest memory?
So, and this was pretty spooky for me. You and I were out camping. And you held a flashlight up to your face, and you started telling a story, and you said that the goat man was coming for us, and the goat man 100 years ago today, and then you said, and he's right behind you.
Okay, so that's the scariest memory you have, because I guess my memory differs a little bit. I do remember talking about the history of goat cheese and like how it's developed over centuries.
Yeah. That was terrifying. Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. And that I get that. That was sort of your interpretation of it.
And you said that it was behind me.
Oh, and that would be what you're saying when I was like offering you a cracker, like the crackers are behind you. Get some of this goat cheese. It's pretty good.
Yeah, you said like, oh, the charcuterie, and I'm like, ah!
Oh my gosh, that is so scary. Dr. London, what is the scariest noise you can think of?
I'm sorry, and this, just to get to backtrack here, this is gonna make us find out what monster I am. Is that?
Yeah, which sort of Halloween style monster you
based
are.
on my fears? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like a BuzzFeed quiz.
Yeah. Sorry. What was the last question again?
What's the scariest noise you can think of?
I think rah. I was gonna say boo, but it's rah.
Oh wow. Yeah, that is pretty good. Dr. Lynn, what's the scariest movie you've ever seen or seen the poster of?
I think I saw 3 seconds of the trailer for The Human Centipede.
Okay, yeah.
Which I'm told is very spooktacular. So
that movie, at least from the parts I've seen, is actually fairly romantic. It's not what I'm into in terms of, my private life.
But like if you want to snack on a certain... Yeah, okay.
Yeah, or like be intimate with your friends or partners. I didn't see the beginning of the movie or the end of the movie. I saw about 10 minutes in the middle.
Yeah.
And from what I understood,
it's a polyamorous relationship.
You've got a few people who are really close with each other, and they're sort of exploring their boundaries. Again, not my boundaries.
Yeah. But
the movie character's boundaries.
I guess it's really scary to me to have this sort of openness to a polyamorous open relationship and forge that kind of relationship with more than just one person. It's just scary to me.
And the the relationship isn't the only thing that's open. You know what I mean?
You saw more than I did of the trailer because I.
Dr. Lennon, the next question. Can you give me some pumpkin facts?
Yeah. Okay, good. I was hoping you'd ask this one. So pumpkins are full of seeds. And if you can get to the seeds, which easier said than done, you can actually find between each seed is goopy stuff. And it is the same color or close to the same color as the hard outside, which is orange.
And, just to serve you a taste of your own medicine a bit, this is fact checked?
Okay. Well, so no, I didn't. Like, it's anecdotal. It's anecdotal. I heard from a friend. I haven't
Huh. Interesting, because the question was, can you give me some pumpkin facts? And yet you didn't need to consult some expert or something.
Okay.
So you're allowed to do that. I'm not. All right.
Okay, well, I'm not allowed to carve pumpkins is one of the major issues. With it. I can't.
But you can play with as much goop as possible. Yeah, you're not allowed to carve the pumpkins because I don't want you messing with the knives. But I let you play with all the goop you can.
Yeah, but then it's like, if I don't get to do the first part, the goop is usually not the most fun part of the process, from what I understand.
But just because you haven't figured out how to have fun with it doesn't mean it's not fun.
Okay, no, you're right.
That's an imagination issue.
Yeah.
All right, and Dr. Lennon, the last question is, witches, goblins, ghosts, or ghouls? Are you any of these things? Because it would make the quiz a whole lot easier if you just were one of these things, because then I could just say that's what you are.
Sorry.
Like if you're a witch or ghost, I could just be like, oh, you're a witch or ghost.
Witch, goblins, or ghouls. Okay. I don't. I wouldn't say that I personally identify as either of those, any of those.
Okay.
Based on my personal life experiences and my religious experiences, I wouldn't identify there. Ghoul maybe. I have had goulash before. So.
Okay, Dr. Lennon, let me do the math here real quick. DJ Dylan, can you play some science-y noises to convey how much math I'm doing right now? Some bleeps and bloops. And Dr. Lennon, while I'm doing this, can you go ahead and count prime numbers starting from 1?
Yeah, 1. There's got to be another. Okay. Is it 49? Okay, let's backtrack a little bit. I think there was a
carry the 3.
prime. I guess prime meaning the alpha, the strongest of them. I want to say when you hit 35, you're pretty strong. But then after that, your body starts to kind of go downhill.
Dr. London, the monster you are, the Halloween monster you are, is Garfield the fat orange cat.
Yes, okay. Honestly, yes.
So mean to Odie, so mean to Nermal, and so mean to John. What a scary monster. Good job, Dr. London.
All right, Cameron, we have a sponsor today.
Really?
Yeah. So today's sponsor is Caldera Lab. First impressions matter, and you have to take care of your skin to make a great first impression. But, Cameron's pointed out to me that it's not just your first impression that matters.
One thing that people really seem to neglect is the last impression, which is the impression that someone has of you right before you croak or run away and hide.
Yeah. And I don't have as much experience with the croaking, but I have run away and hid quite a bit in my life.
Right.
And
you want to leave people wowed when you do that. When they remember your face, they want to say, wow, this guy had great skin.
They look so young.
Yeah.
For someone running away from me, that's very young. Because most people who run away statistically are old. Pretty old.
Yeah,
so,
that's why we have silver alerts.
Yeah.
For when old people go crazy.
Yeah. So, Caldera Lab creates a high-performance men's skincare products, and the regimen leads off their product lineup. It's a twice-a-day routine to transform your skin. Caldera Lab knows the skincare world is heavily female-driven, and it's been difficult for men to navigate for a long time. So that's why they're making the solution simple. The regimen includes 3 products: the Clean Slate, the Base Layer, and the Good. The Clean Slate starts and ends your day This face wash leaves all types of skin refreshed. The base layer is your daily moisturizer to hydrate your skin and jumpstart your day full of confidence, which running away takes confidence too.
Yeah, people say it's cowardly, like, okay, so a girl asked you for your phone number and you dropped everything that was in your hands and started running for the forest.
Yeah, it's...
To which I say, okay.
Yeah, and like, I'd go even further and say, like, if I were not confident about my running skills, I would have sat there and, like, I would have sat down, yeah, and then tried to think my way through it. But since I had the confidence in my skincare, I was able to say, and then run away real fast.
At a top speed. That's the thing people forget when they tell this story. It's at a top speed.
Yeah, my top speed. So it's like pretty low still speed. Like,
it's still better than your normal mile.
Oh yeah. Oh please. Yeah, like slightly. Like both are kind of more of a saunter than a run if we're really gonna break it down. But yeah,
a light trot.
Almost, for sure. So anyway, the Good is your go-to multifunctional serum at night to help your skin look tighter and smoother, as well as to help reduce the visibility of wrinkles and fine lines. And it's full of antioxidants. It's great for, once again, preparing for that, because usually you know this is coming. She's been eyeing you and like winking at you, and you're so scared. So the night before, you do prepare, get this confidence going, plant the seeds for tomorrow's confidence with the Good. And Caldera Lab also has the Icon Eye Serum, which addresses the 3 most common skin concerns around the eye. It's fine lines, dark circles, and puffiness, and also like just the welling up of tears that you sometimes experience if
when terror happens.
Yeah, when a girl talks to you. Yeah. So it's just like it's all practical solutions to practical problems. So it's Caldera Lab really leads the way in helping you to stay looking younger, looking great as you make your last impression.
And Dr. London, there's a common misconception that the last photograph of you is actually a photograph. That's not true, Dr. London. The last picture of you is the sketch that the police took down as they try to solve your disappearance. And when your family and friends, if you have those, or enemies, or the girl who spoke to you, if these people are giving a description of you to detectives, you want them to say, well, he had damn nice skin. You want that sketch to be clear of blemishes.
That's right. So Caldera Lab is leader in men's skincare made with only top-tier ingredients, and clinical trials have found 94% of men's skin showed an overall younger-looking appearance after using Caldera Lab for a few weeks. One morning and night is all it takes to reduce your wrinkles, fine lines, and signs of aging. And just for our audience, we do have an exclusive offer. This is the best offer available anywhere. Use code JOCKDOC at calderalab.com and get 20% off right now. That's 20% off with code JOCKDOC at calderalab.com and make unforgettable first and last impressions that lead to the charming words, "You look younger," or "That sketch of you looks younger." 20% off at calderalab.com with code JOCKDOC. All right, so anyway, that was our producer, Cameron. Also with us is Digital in the House. And later, Cameron tells me that we can expect a special guest.
That's right, Dr. London.
Yeah, so do look forward to that. But before we move on, I would like to address a bit of listener feedback. So for a long time, our listener demographic was primarily composed of fencers, who were, neighborhood bros who just love to build and gaze at fences. But in our efforts to cater to them, we found that we were neglecting the many bot accounts that download our podcast. So we made a video response to a comment on TikTok that had claimed that not everyone should have a podcast. And our response video got some feedback of its own that we want to address here. So the feedback to our feedback response video was from user Unify, and they said, quote, "Sign language podcast, no camera," end quote. Good idea.
Yeah.
I get for one thing, I guess for one thing, to start out, thank you so much for responding with this feedback. This helps us figure out how to tweak our podcast just a little bit.
Yeah.
Because
and so we're going to go ahead and we're going to go ahead and turn our cameras off. Sorry, Patreon users. And we're just going to go ahead and do some sign language for the next 5 seconds. And then you can loop that for however long you want and get as long as a podcast episode as you can imagine, honestly. You can make a 10-hour episode. It's sort of like AI. Okay, ready?
Yeah, Cameron and I have been practicing this a lot. So most of the sign language on my end does come from the Doctor Strange movies. So it's a lot of just kind of trying to make a magic thing happen with my hands.
Yeah.
Poking out different angles.
And most of my sign language is considered sort of offensive gestures in other languages and also my language.
Yeah, I'd say
English and sign language. It's offensive in sign language as well.
Yeah, I would have said on the streets, but it is on the sidewalks as well that you really get some pushback.
And even in the buildings.
Yeah. So.
All right,
yeah,
5.
I hope this helps. Oh,
Let's go. Ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, DJ Dylan, thank you. And so all you got to do, just cut that part. Imagine us doing sign language. And
you got it.
You got it. We love to change the content of our podcast to appease you, listener.
Yes. Thank you so much once again to Unify. And anyway, so thank you once again. Now for today's medical topic, carpal tunnel or median nerve neuropathy. You may have heard of this as carpal tunnel syndrome, which occurs when the median nerve is compressed as it travels through the wrist beneath a band of ligaments that form the titular carpal tunnel. Carpal tunnel, or median nerve neuropathy, is characterized by thenar wasting, which is a wasting of the muscles in the palms of the hand, and pain and numbness in the first 3 fingers. And when we count fingers, we start with a thumb. So that means that patients with carpal tunnel neuropathy have pain and numbness in the thumb, index, and middle fingers. Those are the first 3 fingers.
Yeah, makes sense. I got carpal tunnel initially when I was writing my novel, which I assume you've read, Dr. London, right? You did. I gave you a copy.
Okay, I must have read the wrong thing because what I read was a novella.
Okay, so you just picked up something else other than the thing I handed you?
What?
And it was a different length?
From reading it, it was strong. It was giving novella. Like, I get that you were trying for a novel, but I honestly, like, it really felt like novella.
Oh, okay. So that's your criticism.
Yeah, I mean, just formatting. Yeah, like, it was really...
You're not just seeking some sort of reason to get mad and to criticize just because maybe, like, the main villain in the book was sort of based on a doctor I know, and maybe you're a little tiffed at that?
Well, I mean, pretty small book is all I'm saying. Pretty small thinking, you know?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Maybe you could have reached a little further, is all. But patients with carpal tunnel neuropathy are typically typists or novellists, carpenters, and others who work with their hands. Treatment is with pregabalin or gabapentin, tricyclic antidepressants, and most seizure medications may also be effective. There's also a surgical option known as carpal tunnel release, in which the surgeon cuts through some of that ligamentous carpal tunnel.
Okay, so to you, in your mind, the difference between a novel and novella isn't just length. It's just sort of vibe.
Well, like, if you read...
And the vibe is off just because the main villain in the book, Dr. Lorben Smoth,
right,
it's completely inaudible. You can't understand what he's saying. And the characters in the book can't understand what he's saying because in my head, it sounds like this. Which that's what I hear when you talk.
Yeah, no, I I'm aware. You've sent me your own mixed recordings of how you perceive my speech long before this book. So like maybe part of why I thought it was kind of novella is it didn't really sound new to me. It sounded like you were just building on an old concept, an old idea. And maybe it's time to reach out and not try to pick fights with me via your literary career. And yes, did I send it on to my editors, my publishers, and they loved it? Sure. Did I tell them, don't mention that to him? Yes. Because once again, I'm trying to teach you a lesson here. Okay?
Oh, wait. Did you just publish my book as your own book? Because you did give me a copy of your new book, and I am going to be honest, I did not touch it. I haven't read it at all.
Wow. All right, Cameron, you said that we have a guest today. Is that right?
That's right, Dr. London. We have one of the coolest guests that we've ever had on this show.
Wow. Okay. That's yeah. Okay. Guest, because I'm a regular. I see what you. Okay. Well, hello there. My name is drlondonsmith.com, and this is our producer Cameron. What was your name?
My name is Jimmy Johnny Smith.
Okay. Are you at all related to the Jimmy Johns of the world?
Yes,
By any chance?
I am.
Okay. I knew I smelled. I didn't know if it was sandwich, but I knew I smelled something like the deli.
That is wet lettuce you are smelling.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, the easiest to identify smell. Wet lettuce. Wait, no, I got to ask, your last name is Smith?
Yes.
Okay, well, Dr. London, I mean, your last name is Smith.
Oh my God. There's another Smith.
Well, just Dr. London, you at the beginning of every show mentioned that, your name is drlondonsmith.com. Now we bring on another Smith who's not a .com. I'm wondering, is there some sort of family split? Is there some turmoil going on here?
Yeah, I didn't want to bring up the blood feud, but Jimmy, Mr. Smith, do you want to bring up the blood feud?
Not particularly. It brings out bad memories.
Okay, yeah. It sounds like none of us want to bring it up, Cameron.
Okay. We don't have to talk about it.
But if I had to bring up the blood feud of this family, I could tell you this. We were once equals in a .gov situation, and someone thought that they were bigger and higher, mightier than .gov, and they went full .com.
Oh, wow.
But that's just a hypothetical.
And who did, Dr. London, who did that, like your great-grandfather or something?
I think I did. I'm trying to remember how far back this. I feel like this was a couple of weeks back. We got, we had a small island nation, and like it was kind of a Labor Day weekend thing. So yeah, I guess a few weeks back, and then there's a bit of an overthrow situation, a little bit of a violent coup, and anyway, so that's how I lost. I briefly had the family under a .gov, and then reverted back to.
I lost both my eyes that day.
Yeah, well, that seemed like the fastest way.
Both of my eyes.
Dr. London, you didn't tell me it was both eyes.
Well, okay. I guess I'll tell.
Are you laughing at me?
I'll tell you that the first thing that I said back then, and that I think bears saying again.
I remember.
Where did you see them last? If you lost them.
Is that supposed to be a joke? Is that supposed to be funny? Because I'm not laughing.
I've never heard Dr. London tell a joke. This isn't a comedy podcast or anything like that, so I wouldn't,
What would you categorize that, Cameron? Would you call that smart aleck?
Well, Cameron, when you've lost stuff, don't I say that to you too?
Yeah, I think I would call that a question that is waiting for an answer. Where'd you last see your eyes?
You're both being comedians. You both think you're funny, don't you? Well, I'll play along with this game. The last time I saw my eyes was staring down Tom's eyes. One final moment before they brought out the family-style barbecue from Jim and Nick's.
Yeah, okay. So, and was it that hard, like, to just say when you saw him? So we know where to look. So is that a barbecue place? And I guess, like, check there. And that, I just feel like you're kind of putting a lot on me. And you're the one who lost your eyes. So,
well, I mean, Dr. Lennon, it sounds like you were spearheading this sort of initiative that ended up with the loss of his eyes. This whole, like, rebellion of Gov to establish your own .com sort of family, sub-family.
Okay.
Oh, is drlondonsmith.com, is it like smith-.com? Like smith-dotcom.
I never checked the verse. It's one of these things where, like, I never had to learn to write it out.
Yeah.
But, like, it always takes me to a website, if that answers the question.
Oh, yeah, I guess that makes sense. That answers my question.
Okay, good. Because, I mean, the doctor handwriting, I can't read it.
Oh,
so.
Gosh, these days?
Yeah.
In 2023?
Yeah, when it finally got bad, handwriting-wise. So, Jimmy,
Yes, I'm here still.
I can't help but feel like maybe there's, I don't want to say bad blood, because everyone's going to think, oh, he's a Swiftie. But I do feel like there's a bit of tension between us here. And so I just want to say, if there's anything that you think that I did wrong, I'm sorry that you feel that way.
Oh, wow, that was really big of you, Dr. London.
So what brings you here today? Johnny?
Just going to take a moment here and just take that last line in. Okay. Why I am here? Because I've received new eyes.
Okay, so all this trouble and you got new ones. Like, this whole rigmarole, and you already had new...
Rigmarole, you say? Well, rigmarole, my cousin. Here I am with a quandary. Do you think it would be fair for you to cover the bill of my surgery?
Oh, I don't know if my insurance covers that. Well, first of all, what kind of surgery was it? Who did the surgery? Because, like, if they're at a network, like, I could have done the surgery. I wouldn't have done it. Okay. I wouldn't have done the surgery, but...
Dr. Otto Otto was his name, and he scooped out my eyeballs with a carotenizer and then filled my sockets with goop. The goop settled into my sockets for a good 9 hours before he implanted these brand new eyes coming off of a man from death row at Sing Sing in New York City. And I haven't been the same since.
Right. It makes me kind of actually worried about the guy on death row. Because, like, there are a lot of...
He is no longer with us.
That's a real tragedy of the story, I guess, huh? Because, like, a lot of those people are innocent, they later find out. So,
I've come to warn everybody. These eyes, they have a power.
Oh, boy.
is it
the power of sight?
say.
Because if that's the answer, I can already do that.
Yo, the power of sight, Cameron, and beyond. You know Bed Bath & Beyond?
I've heard of it, yeah.
Well, these eyes are from the beyond. That's why they click.
Wow.
I have seen a vision of the future.
Well, what is it?
Global thermonuclear war is upon us.
That seems fine.
Well, no, hey, no, that's not fine. We have to stop saying that that's fine. I'm actually against that.
What, war?
Are you serious? You're fine with that, Cameron?
Well, hear him out.
Are you guys anti-war?
I'm definitely anti-thermonuclear war.
I'm not anti-war. I am anti-thermonuclear war.
You guys are anti-thermonuclear war, really? In this day and
now
age?
I feel like he's really peer pressuring us here.
You guys are going to get canceled. I'm just saying.
Honestly, cousin, I don't know how you can stand working with someone like this. I kind of feel bad for you, quite frankly.
Well, now what it has me really second guessing myself, because like if this is just a family, you know how some families just have a thing that they think is normal until they talk to other people outside of the family. I'm wondering if our position of being anti-thermonuclear war is like, oh, that's a Smith thing, or that's a .gov thing, you know?
Are you guys like pro like not like having radiation poisoning?
Absolutely.
That's crazy to me. Okay.
Who wants radiation poisoning? It's continuous vomiting.
What this thermonuclear war that we're talking about, what's the issue exactly? Are you here to stop it or to like speed it up, and are you an accelerationist?
I am here to prevent thermonuclear war with what I know. And what I know is this: there is a secret deeper than the president's butt. There is a secret in this country that has been buried for 200 plus years.
We're still, just to clarify,
what I'm about to tell you is going to shake the foundations of America.
To clarify, we were talking about President Biden, right?
Is that who's the current president right now?
There's been some contention on who's...
Are you sure? Because from what I've heard, it's actually Trump in disguise as Biden.
Yeah, there's been contention from some sides about who it is.
Dr. London has declared himself president of, what do you call it? The free land of Mr. Smith? You said you renamed the United States?
Yeah, well, because at a certain point during our island campaign, we were going to annex the states as well.
Yeah.
Well, I tried. It turns out, like, they have a lot of rules. Like, America has so many rules about taking over them.
Well, in this new America, there won't be any rules because there won't be an America.
Okay, yeah, borders just exist on a map. You know what I mean? Let's open these up. We're all together. We're all humans.
It first starts with the opening of the borders. The wall is finished by 2026, but is destroyed 6 months after its erection. And the worst part is that vampires...
Vampire movies are coming back, or vampires?
Because please don't scare me with that idea. Because vampire movies, like, they did have a good run, obviously. You know, we all have...
Look, I'm just telling you that what I saw in my vision were a bunch of screaming faces and fangs. Now, you can do the math all you want, but that could mean absolutely anything. I trust my gut.
Okay.
And believe vampires.
I feel that. Now that I know that you're trusting your gut, I'm definitely more understanding and on board.
See, what came to my mind was, like, sometimes whenever you are either about to have surgery or after surgery, you'll be sitting in the office watching stuff, just they'll have something on, and maybe were the Twilight movies on, maybe were there advertisements also for Oppenheimer on, which was a movie about...
You see, the vampire is released from an ancient artifact that is buried beneath the border wall between Mexico and Texas. And it is at that moment somebody drops blood onto the artifact, and it awakens an ancient spirit that inhabits every soul in that area and engulfs them into a darkness known as Vampiro.
So, since the wall isn't built yet, can we just go dig this thing up and either sell it or become vampires ourselves? Or
well, I don't know where it is. I just know it's on the border between Mexico and Texas.
I mean, yeah, we could dig there. We'll start there and then move to the border of maybe Mexico and Arizona, and then maybe for fun we'll do Washington and Canada.
See, my guess is try to figure out which part of the wall you think it would be in the future that would explode, and just explode that part of the wall. Like, we should just go down. I have a guy who does demolition work for the movie industry, special effects, and he can get us a great deal on TNT.
Well, I mean, are you wanting to actually blow something up or just CGI it? Because if it's CGI, he'll be able to help, but I don't know how effective that is.
See, I don't believe in the fix it and post motto. It's just not my bag.
Oh, you don't believe that that's real, that anyone does that? You're a CGI denier. I've heard about these types. I get it. I understand.
Hey, we like practical. We like matted backgrounds. We like keyframing. We like stop motion. But we do not need any more CGI.
So just to backtrack a little bit to the point, you said drops of blood fell on it. Someone dropped blood onto it, and that's what activated the whole thing. So I'd say, what if we just put out a PSA, hey, don't drop blood around the wall? Problem solved.
That might work.
Oh, you're put up signs even.
Just like
you should keep blood in your body.
Like a picture of a hand that's dripping like, little red droplets, and it just says no blood, and like a little Ghostbuster sign around it. No blood
Ghostbuster
here.
sign will clarify.
Maybe hand out like little plastic bags or something that they could put any sort of, put their hand in there if that's what's bleeding or whatever.
Yeah. And you know what? This is going to be a bit progressive of me, but I think we should put it in both Spanish and English.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You can grab a wider market that way.
Yeah. Well, and like, if I'm being honest here, I don't even see this as a marketing thing. I think I see it more as just a public health, prevention situation.
Yeah.
Simple. Okay. And then I think that's it. Yeah.
I think we got it.
All right.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's about it. Thank you so much, Jimmy Johnny Smith. Great to have family on. It's been a while since I had a family member on. I think the last one might have been my mother or cousin. No, my mother might have been the last one. So good to have another of my family on here. Is there anyone you'd like to shout out? Any friend of yours you'd like to promote?
Yes, I would like to say to BethanyStrong.org, I'm waiting for you at Perk Coffee House for that special meet cute.
Okay, and just to make sure, that isn't addressed to Cameron, because this is how people flirt with Cameron usually. They give him a website. Yeah.
Coordinates.
Is Cameron's name Bethany Strong?
Not legally, but that's what most people call me.
Well, that's quite a coincidence, but if you do show up, I'll get you a mochaccino.
I don't really want that. I mean, can you give me a scone?
That's all I'm offering.
Damn it.
I'm a very particular person for meet cutes.
All right. And do they have any Instagram handles or Twitter, any of that?
Yes. soulcrushing-eyeballs.49 is my handle on Instagram.
All right. So everyone listening, go ahead and check out the Soul Crushing Eyeballs.49. And thank you once again to Jimmy Johnny Smith. Thank you to our producer Cameron. Thank you to Digital in the House.
There is a secret to this country that has been buried for 200 plus years. What I'm about to tell you is going to shape the foundations of America. You see, the vampire is released from an ancient artifact that's buried beneath the border wall between Mexico and Texas. And at that moment, somebody drops blood onto the artifact and awakens an ancient spirit that inhabits every soul